Alright, so let's break down the 3 setups I took this last week. I traded Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So first, Monday setup, it was beautiful. So before we jump in, this is how I journal my trade. So I made a Discord. I have a few of my buddies in here that don't trade, but they like to see the progress, and I trust them. So they're in here. They keep me, intact and disciplined with what I do. So if you might see some comments, maybe some of these, but this Discord is strictly for me, my growth, and everything I do trading wise goes in this Discord. So if you don't have your own Discord, just to make it simple, I know there's like TradeZella, you have to pay for that. If you don't, this is a free version, so just make your own Discord, and you'll see exactly all the setups you like. Every single thing that happens in trading, I write about. So anyways, let's go back to this last week. Starting off with Monday. So we do have we traded micro gold. It was a 5-minute breakout. The stop loss, good stop loss for me, I like to be anywhere 11 points and under for gold. And then right here, so I went in with 12 contracts. I got out 9 of them at 1-to-1, and I left 3 for 1-to-2. Alright, so if we look at the setup, this is the 5-minute time frame. We see here a liquidity grab. So basically the strategy for a breakout, you're looking for perfect EMAs. Perfect EMA. So the blue 13 EMA needs to be above the yellow 50 SMA. The yellow SMA needs to be above the 200 EMA. So when they're in that order, that's perfect EMAs, we're looking for buys. And then same thing for sells. The blue would have to be on the bottom, yellow, then white. Alright, so we're in buying conditions here when we see perfect EMAs, and now we're waiting for a break above to close above, and then we enter. So we have perfect EMAs all the way up until this cross right here. So this cross is important because that could be a start of a downtrend, or you can see the market get a little bit, wicky at that point. When you have a cross. Now, if you do have a cross and then the breakout candle breaks above both the 50 and the 13, then you can kind of disregard the cross because we made up for it. And that's exactly what happens here. So right before any of the breakout happened, we have a liquidity grab. So that's an extra confluence that we're going up. The market took out stops right here. And then this breakout candle that we entered on broke above the 13, which we needed to, and as well as the 50. So if the candle broke above the 13, closed above the 13, but not above the 50, then we can have a reversal right there, and we could get stopped down. So if it didn't break above the 50, I would not enter this trade. Luckily, we had a perfect breakout candle, broke above both EMAs, and then we went back to our order, 13, 50, 200. Anyways, this candle, I got in right before the close of the candle. Usually I'll get in 3 seconds to 5 seconds right before it closes, and that's what I did. And then we got a nice little push right when I got in. So after that, this trade had 0 drawdown. I mean, it's pretty rare that happens, but when I was in this trade, I did not see anything that was red. It was literally green. So we enter, small stop loss. Now, first target is our 1-to-1, and I go based off where I entered, not where the candle is, because sometimes you get a later entry, and now you're looking for a 1-to-1, that's a little bit higher. So 1-to-1, we hit 1-to-1. I closed majority of my contracts. I left 3 running. Now, the one thing I should have seen is how much momentum is going into these candles. Meaning, if I see a lot of momentum candles, then I would close less just because this could rip. But the reason why I closed majority is because this could be a double top if we just reversed. Right here, we could have got even like a triple top almost. So my thought process was, let me not take the chance. I'm up. I'm just going to close 9, let 3 run. And it exploded. And then I took out 3 contracts right here. Also, this is right before the open. So if I'm not mistaken, the opening candle was like this one. So I really, wanted to be safe. I don't like trading during the open. So that's why I, left only 3 running, moved my stops to break even after we hit 1-to-1. And now I'm in a risk-free trade and I'm up. All right. So now moving on to Tuesday. So keep in mind, Monday, great trade. I'm up. Now I know if I have a decent day Tuesday, decent day Thursday, I'm profitable for the week. Even if I lose one of those days, I'm profitable for the week. My goal is to be profitable by week. The month will take care of itself if I take care of the weeks. All right, moving on to Tuesday. So Tuesday, I kept similar risk on the table, maybe a little bit less just because of the stop loss size. It was very big. So think about it like this. This was a 7.5 point stop loss. We caught roughly 20 points here. 15 to 20 points here. Okay. Now we go to Tuesday and our stop loss is literally what we made yesterday. So this is a huge stop loss and it's also counter trend. So like I said before, this is a buy setup. The EMAs are in selling conditions. So we have 200 above the 50 above the 13. The market opened somewhere around here, and all pre-market, all morning, we're selling off. And there's 0 setups here. There's no breakout candles. Nothing broke above the 13 to break down. There is no supply setups here. There's a low probability supply right here. There's a supply up here that doesn't get tapped into, and there's a supply down here. This is a high probability supply, but it's already low. So my thought process right here is maybe we catch a counter trend setup. Like, usually I'm not a fan of them, but in this situation where the market is oversold, we can catch a counter trend, get in real quick, and then get out. So what happens is we enter off this breakout candle. By the way, this is the only candle that closes above the 13 in this whole entire pre-market. Saying you can argue that this one did, but the candle structure, it's not what I'm looking for. So I would never take this. This right here, this area is not oversold. This down here is. So we enter off the candle close. Now, since it's counter trend, since we're up yesterday, and since the stop loss size is so big, naturally I'm lowering my risk. Like, that's just simple. I'm not going to keep the same risk and lose everything off a C- counter trend setup. Now I decided to take the chance on this one, and it does win, but I get out at break even. So it came up all the way to here, and then it ended up reversing. So the reason why I got out at break even and I didn't take the 1-to-1 was because we had such crazy drawdown. This candle right here was a news candle, so we almost got stopped out. So right now I'm like, okay, if this gets back to break even, I'm just gonna close. It wasn't a good setup. I didn't like it. I thought better of it before I got in, but let me just take the break even day. And we're up right here. It was about 75% to stop loss. I was still in this trade, and then we bounced right off the 13. And a lot of the times breakouts do that. They bounce right off the 13. So they'll even hit your target. So you close partials, they come down, stop you out at break even, and then they continue. And this happens all the time. And knowing that, you're prepared for it. But in this case, I understood this could bounce off the 13 and then keep going up. But we have a supply zone sitting right here. And what does it do? It taps in it and it holds. This supply zone holds. After I get stopped out of break even, it invalidates the supply, which is good for buys, and it hits the 101 and then it reverses. At this point, I saw the supply zone. I'm like, I'm going to take the break even day. I'm up yesterday. This was this setup. Obviously, we're in selling conditions. In my opinion, I thought we were oversold, so I took the chance on buys. It didn't hurt me. It was a break-even day. All right, moving on to Thursday. So, one more point here. This setup was so stressful. Okay, so this setup, not a single drawdown point. It was beautiful from the start. Everything looks good. We even have a liquidity grab. This one, we literally have no confirmations other than a breakout candle. Other than that, this is selling conditions, and we took a buy, which is okay. I understood that, and it ended up winning. All right, moving on to Thursday. So Thursday, I'm up Monday. I broke even Tuesday. There is no reason why I'm taking the same risk I put on Monday and I'm about to lose it on Thursday. Obviously, I go in the markets thinking, today's a winning day, but traders, losing is inevitable. So knowing I can end the week profitable, and that's my goal, I'm going to go in super low risk on Thursday, especially with this NAS setup, 1 minute breakout, a really small stop loss on NAS, and it was low risk. Going in to Thursday, market looks like we're in buying conditions. EMAs look perfect, 13 above the 50, above the 200. So in this situation, this is the 1 minute time frame. So with NAS, sometimes the stop loss sizes on the 5 minute are so big, so I do go on the 1 minute. And then we caught a breakout, and this looks like a double bottom right here. So it looks like this is a perfect area to enter. Well, it definitely didn't work out like that. We do have a supply zone right here that held, and then the market tanked from here. But since we have a 6-point stop loss on NASDAQ, I only took a $300 loss here. This was nothing. And on the 1 minute, if I take 1 minute setups, I'm usually going for a 1 to 2, 1 to 3, even 1 to 4. Just because the stop loss size is so small, I can catch that. But in this case scenario, it went right to stop loss, and I was done for the day. I'm not going to enter again just to try to make back my money. No, I'm profitable for the week. I hit my goals, and I'm okay with it. But do I think this is a good setup? Absolutely not. And then next week is 1st of March, NFP week. So there's definitely a lot of news happening. Our job is to avoid the news and take good setups. Nothing changes. Risk management is in play. Trade management is huge. Psychology will get you paid. Other than that, peace.